Okay. Next, we will take a look at the custom function. So this is really helpful. See, there are two types of or two or three types of functions are available in any programming language. Okay, you have something called user-defined custom function, built-in custom functions. For example, if you want to convert the lower case of a specific column into uppercase, you can use upper function. Okay, we have some upper or lower functions. These functions are already available. And also we have seen remove, if I want to remove a column, all I need to do just point the cursor, right click on it, point your mouse and then right click on it. You have an options to delete a column. But behind the scene, the Power Query editor M script, for example, if I want to create, if you want to remove this one, I will just click on the remove here, it will remove it. But you will see something table.remove column. So here you can see it, right? Table.add column. Table.add column. Okay, this is a built-in function. Okay, and also we don't have to create we don't have to write a M script like this. Okay, we don't have to. So look here, in this case, before dealing with something, we are doing it. We are putting the hyphen between state and city, right? And also we have combined these two columns. Okay, so if you want to add a new column, all we have to do just click on the add column, custom column, but behind the scene, the M language gets generated. This is script generated on our behalf. Okay. Otherwise, just imagine you have to write a script to create a new column. For every new column, it is painful, isn't it? So, it may, but for the Power BI to understand, behind the scene, it generates the columns. It's something like, let's say, you speak only Hindi. Okay. And also, English. But this training is on English. So, but if whatever I teach you, to understand that, behind the scene, you are converting your regional language, right? Your local language. Hindi, you will convert it and then you will understand. Similarly, Power BI desktop, all we do is we use some common thing like point and click, right click on it, remove it or add a new column. Behind this in to understand what action or what step we can, it generates the M language. Okay, this is called M script. Got it? Yeah, so not all, see here add column is a built-in function. But this function is, you can also use a function directly, but for that it's a, you need to understand the syntax, everything. Right, Pradeep? So for that purpose, we are using the point and click option. So basically, the whole idea of Power BI desktop, right? Power BI software and all. Low code, no code. Okay, they don't want. See, in this case, we don't have to write any code, right? That doesn't mean there is no coding. Coding needs to be done, but you don't have to write lines and lines of code like how we write it in Java and other programming language. Okay. So there are cases, no code. Look here, when you are, if you want to delete a column, click on remove, that's all. You don't have to use remove column and then the previous step and variable name and then, the column name and all. You don't have to put it here. Okay. Hence, no code in this case to delete a column. But behind the scene, for the Power BI to understand, Power Query to editor to understand that it generates the script automatically. Okay. But there are cases we have to create the column explicitly. You got it? So that's what we discussed in the previous one. Okay. Next, what we will do is the function. Sorry, now we are talking about the function, right? The built-in function. And apart from this, user-defined function. User-defined function. So the custom column, right? So in the case of if I want to create a new column, not all the time we may create a explicit column, right? There are cases it creates a new column automatically by performing some option. For example, when I use the conditional column, once I define the conditions, everything, and then if I hit the OK button, it creates a new column automatically. But there are cases we need to create it explicitly, user defined column, right? And here, similarly, not all the functions you can use it to meet your reporting requirements. There are some cases you may have to write custom your own function that is called user defined. So built-in function, user defined function. Apart from this, we have some lambda function. Okay, lambda function is popular in Python and even Spark. Okay, for that you don't have to specify the function name. Okay, So, right, so you just remember at this moment the built-in function, which means, we are going to use those functions which are readily available. But user-defined functions, something which we created. And apart from the lambda function here, you don't have to use it. Okay, in Power Query Editor. Okay, so now what I will do is I will start with a simple example to show how to create a custom function. Okay, now the question is, so why we need to create a custom function? Okay, the reason why we are using, see, the function, forget about custom. Okay, at the end of the day, we are creating a function. Here they say custom function, which is nothing but the user-defined function. So why we need to create a function, first of all? So now you understood what is a function, right? What are the types of functions? Okay, what is a function? Why do I need to create a function? Because because of reusability. Because of reusability, we are going to create a function. So what do you mean by reusability? See, look here. If I right click on it and click on remove, what happens? There is something called remove column function. Okay, someone has created that function. Just because someone has already created it, so we are simply reusing it, right? Just right click on it, click on this one. Whatever action you do it, the corresponding script for that one is remove column. If you want to add a column, add column function is there. Since these functions created by Microsoft, simply reusing it. Okay. And but there are cases we may have to create the function explicitly. Okay. The simple analogy is, let's say you want to prepare your favorite dish at your home. Okay. So you go and buy some ready mix. Ready mix. Okay. Once you buy a ready mix, you don't have to mix. So for example, if you want to prepare a dish, obviously you need to have all the ingredients in place. You go and buy all the ingredients separately, and then you need to clean it, and then you need to mix it with the proper ratio, and then only you can prepare your favorite dish. To simplify that, now we have something called ready mix. See, nowadays, if you want to use the roti, right, chapati or ready-made, already in the packets readily available. Already they prepared the raw chapati, everything. You with the proper ratio, everything. All you do just buy it and then put it on the tawa, and then you can eat it, right? That is a ready mix. That's called your reusability. Okay, something like pickles. You prepare pickles, and for your food side dish, if you need it, you are going to reuse it. Already you prepared the pickles, and for your food, you can use it. Similarly, any other dish, right? Already they prepared it with the proper mix, so with the proper ratio, all the ingredients. All you just take those powder or dough, and then you mix it with water, and then you cook, right? So the reusability, that is what reusability. Similarly, in the case of uh, functions, one of the key advantages of function is reusability. Okay, reusability. So that is also the reason why um, we need to have a function in place. Okay, with the help of the function, we can implement the reusability. Once you create a function, anybody can use it, right? Anybody can use it, reuse it. So now I just give me a second here. Somebody is calling me. Just give me a second. So the functions are importantly the custom functions, right? With the help of the custom function, we can implement the reusability. Supposing you wanted to, let's say you are working for a payroll team, and if they wanted to find out the net salary, and again, they have close to 7 lakh employees are there. Let's say in the case of TCS, 7 lakh employees are working approximately. And you need to compute the net salary for each and every employee. Okay. So in that case, you need to use all the formulas. So what is the formula? Let's, you need to compute the deductions. Okay. And then you need to compute the earnings. You need to subtract the deductions from the earnings to get the net salary. It's a simple thing, right? But for this, in the case of earnings, you need to add all the earnings related values like basic plus HRA plus bonus and so on. Okay. And this is your earnings. Deductions, you need to add all the deductions, LOP and other things. Okay. Loss of pay. and any advance payment which they bought it. So you need to add all the things, and at the end of the day, you have the deductions variable and you have the earnings variable, and you need to subtract the deduction from earnings to get the net salary. So this one, you will be doing it iteratively, which means for each and every employee, this is the formula that needs to be used in order to compute the net salary for each employee. But if you do it manually, you need to calculate it manually for each and every. You need to use the formula for each and every employee. It's a painful thing. Okay, and mistakenly, there could be chances that you might tend to make a mistake because because of so many employees. Due to oversight, you might ignore certain formulas, right? Or you might ignore certain component as part of your formula. So best thing, you can create a custom function. So using the custom function, you once you create a custom function, you tell the the payroll team, hey, you just call this function. That's all. Okay. So I have implemented all the complex logic in my function. This is the function name. These are the arguments. You need to pass it. That's all, guys. Okay. If you teach them how to use your custom function, that's all. Okay. How to use your custom function. Okay. So that is more than sufficient for them. They don't have to write under lines of code every time. We will start with a simple custom function. So it is functions are mainly created to create reusability. And next one is a modularity. Okay, you don't have to use the same formula for each and every line. Okay, and also it gives the abstraction. So they don't have to understand all the logics to arrive the net salary, all the formulas. And also parameterization. With parameterization, you can make your function more dynamic. Okay. So we'll start with a simple function to understand how it works. Look here, currently I am in the Power Query data. So on the left side, we have the queries pane here, right? So you can see all these queries, all the tables, and then this is the one. And just beneath that, we have the empty space here. Right click on it, you will find something called new query. Click on the blank query. Okay, this is one way of creating the custom function. Okay, I'll just click on the blank query. Now I am here. Look here, I just clicked on the blank query. I can see something called query1 got created. The default name for the custom function is query1. Okay, query1. So now what I do is see the fx. Fx is nothing but the formula. And if you click on here in the formula bar, and here what I do is I'm going to do something like x. This is called rocket arrow, equal sign, and then greater than. Okay, followed by the x. I just use it. I'll tell you what is x. Okay, x into x. I'm going to press enter. Okay, here what I do is I just I need to declare the data type for this, or let's say I'm going to say int. Sorry, here you need to put the equal sign first. X as int. Okay. Type identifier integer. I think so. Integer. Type identifier. Okay, let me do one thing. I just use number. Yeah, number data type. The data type. See here, first you need to use the equal sign, and followed by that, inside the parenthesis, this is your open parenthesis, and then this is a closed parenthesis because it is a function. So whenever you hear a term function in any programming language, all right, the followed by the function name, you need to specify the open parenthesis, closed parenthesis. Okay. Here I did not specify the function name. Don't worry. Okay. First, you need to specify the equal sign, and followed by that, you need to put the open parenthesis, and then you put the closed parenthesis. Inside of the parenthesis, you need to specify your parameter. This is called your parameter. Followed by the parameter name, you need to use the keyword as, and followed by that, you need to use the data type name. So in this case, it is the number data type. Okay, and then I'm going to use only one parameter. Followed by that, I'm going to use the rocket arrow. And here what I do, the same parameter, right? I just use it here, the x into x. I'm going to multiply the same value by itself. And now what happened? My function is ready. When you press enter, it should not throw any error. So previously it was throwing an error, right? I fixed it. How I fixed it? Because I put the wrong data type and I changed an number, and then here I did not specify the keyword. This is a reserved word, okay? It is always, you need to put as here and then number, okay? So followed by the as, you need to specify the data type. In the case of text, you need to use text, okay? Here I mentioned about the data type for this variable or the parameter x, and here x into x. This is the this is the business rule or the business logic, okay? And here what happened, once I press enter, it is asking me to enter the value for the parameter. So what is the parameter? This is the parameter, right? Okay, this is the parameter, and you need to enter the value for the parameter x here, okay? You need to enter the value for the parameter here. For example, if I specify 2 here, and then if I click on invoke, look here, can you see 4 here? 4. Since we are using parameter in the function, right? We can use it. Only thing is, 1 second, I pressed some key mistakenly. 1 second. Sometimes it happens. I don't know why it is hanging. Okay, let me do one thing. I think I pressed mistakenly some other key. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, look here. I just look here. Invoked function. It gives me 4, right? So 1 second. I think because of this, it was hanging. So 4. Likewise, if I pass any value to that function, what job it has to do? It has to square that value. Okay. Every time I don't have to put, 2 into 2, 5 into 5, right? I don't have to do that. Simply, I enter only one value, which should square. For example, if I give 125, and if I click on the invoke is nothing but execute this function. Execute this one. What will happen is, this 125 will get copied to this parameter, and the same 125 will get passed to the function. This is anything followed by the bracket arrow is your body of the function, okay? This is kind of header, this is our body, okay? And x into x, the same thing, okay? The value, whatever you type it here, I just see this 125 gets copied to this one. And also, right, this, since it gets copied, this here you will have 125, that 125 will copied here, 125 will get copied here. So 125 into 125, what value you can, click on invoke, so you can see 15625. Okay, so what you understood, we have some, like a ready mix, we have created this function. This function will square any value, whatever you give it. Whatever value you give it, it will square that value. Okay, that is the role performed by this function. So here, what I do is I'll give some invoke function is the output of my query, the function, right? What I do is I'll just give some meaningful name to this function. I just select the query one, right click on it, rename. I'll give some meaningful name, square me, okay? So my function name is square me. Okay, this inverse function, you can see the previously what value passed, what value got it. So the input which you passed, in this case 125, and the output we can see with the invoke function, right? Now it is not required. I'm going to delete it. I will leave it because I'm going to share this file to you all for you to for your reference. Okay. And if you click on the invoke function, you can see here the square me, what value passed? 2. 2 got squared as 4. Okay. Got it? Okay, fine. Okay, yes. Okay. Praveen's question is, can I put some condition, all the things here? Yes, you can do that one also. Okay. And for example, I'll put something like if x is greater than 0, then x and x, else, pass value here, something like that. Okay. And press enter. Sorry, I just Pass value, and then keep the cursor here, and then click on the tick mark. Okay, click on the tick mark. In case of any error, it will throw an error. That means, you have some syntax error. So we don't have any syntax error here. Okay, for example, anything greater than 0, right? If I put less than 0 is, for example, if I put -2, and if I click on this one, so what will happen? I click on this pass value. Okay, pass value means, right? So look here. Here, what I will do instead of pass value means, okay, sorry. I'll put enter positive value. So this is how, Praveen, you can specify the condition also in your function. Okay. The first one is a very simple one. We started with a simple example, x into x, that's all. And then we have introduced, we have introduced a little bit additional script here. If x equal to greater than 0, then you square the value. Otherwise, you tell the user, hey, enter the positive value. I cannot square the negative value. Okay, obviously, if you square a value, any negative value, it will become positive value. Just for illustration purpose, how you can use if else, right? If then else. Okay. The blue colored one is your reserved word. And this is your decision. Followed by the if, you need to specify the condition x equal to greater than 0 or x is less than 0, something like that. Okay. And if I enter, for example, 4, and if I click on the invoke 16, I'm getting a 16. And again, I'm going to click on the square me. And now what I do is, here I'll just once again, I'll show you -4. And if I invoke, it will go to the second part, right? So look, enter positive value, something like that. Okay. So, okay, fine. So this how you can create a function, and also you can implement a little bit complex logic. I just made this square me function little bit complex by introducing if then else. Okay. And similarly, you can you create some other function. Okay. And let me create another function for you to understand. Look here, I just clicked on it. So just beneath the query pane, the empty space, I right click on it. New query, click on the blank query and equal sign, and followed by that, let's x as text, not x. I'll use something else, x1, and followed by that, I just say the text dot upper. Look here, this function is already available, right? I'm going to use a built-in function which was created by Microsoft inside my user-defined function. Here, inside of this one, I'm going to pass the value x1. Okay, and I'm going to click on it here. Text to one upper was not written. Make sure it's spelled correctly. Sorry, here text 2 times I typed it mistakenly. Look here, unless you type the correct thing, it will not work. Okay. So text dot upper. So this is the upper is a function. Text dot upper is already available. So that function I use. If I specify any value here, for example, if I specify ABC or simple, right? ABC, if I specify it, if I click on it, the ABC will get copied to your x1, and that one will be passed, right? The ABC, look here, right? When I type ABC, this ABC will get copied here. Okay, and then see the ABC basically it is getting copied into your x1. So the x1 is nothing but ABC. You just think that way. So here ABC is there. Then here text dot upper one, the ABC will be there. Okay, whatever this value you pass it here, it will get converted to upper value. Supposing your name is let's Ramesh. You just typed it like this. And if I click on no, this Ramesh will get copied here. So end of the day, we'll have Ramesh here. So Ramesh will be there. Okay. And I'm going to click on invoke capital Ramesh. So with this function, you can tell, hey, I have created a function. You don't have to remember. Okay. Here, the function name is, I just read some, uppercase. Instead of remembering text dot upper and all, right? Just use uppercase. Okay, this function will simply convert any lowercase to uppercase. Got it? Similarly, you can use it for the date function also. If you have let's say, you have created a column. Let's say in your date, you have a date column, but the date column shows in date, month, year, and you want to display it in year, month, date. You can use the you can create a separate function, okay, and then you can apply the function on a specific column. Okay, so this function name is square me. This is uppercase. What I will do is I will just right click on it. I'm going to create another function. Here you have the blank query, and here what it is equivalent to parenthesis. Always you need to use parenthesis to specify. So here I'm going to say date as date function. I think date is there. Okay, here I'm going to specify the date time. Date time dot text function is there, or date to text. Okay, and date to text. And here you need to specify the date. That is the one you are passing it. And here what you need to do is you need to specify year -dd. Okay, that's all. So if I press enter, what will happen? Let's say, if I click on the tick mark, it asks me to enter the value, something example value also it gave, right? Look at example 21/3/2012. So we will try the same thing, 21/3/2012. So this is in date, month, year format. If I click on it, what will happen? It got converted as a year, month, date. Very good, right? So here, I just give some meaningful name for this function. Convert date in YYMMDD. Okay. So this is pretty straightforward. Convert DT YYMMDD function. Use my function. You can tell your team member, hey guys, use my functions. Right? Reusability. Okay. They don't have to write this script to convert your any date into this format, right? So all they have to do, just enter the date in whatever the format. For example, they can enter it something like yeah. So like I've shown, right? You can do it that way. Okay. Oh, your question is month date. Okay, okay. So his question is 12, and here I just say 31 and 2023. So here it throws an error. Okay, you need to put it that way only. Enter a date value, or here the calendar displayed. Okay, you can select this one. That's how you can do it. Okay, so today is today's date, and click on invoke. It converts it this format. Okay. For that, you can write your own custom function again. Okay, these are the examples I have given it. Okay, and then look here. This is how to pass a date value to your function. For that purpose, I have used the convert date YAMD, right? So the first one is the date. So it need not to be a date name. Let's say you have something called order date, right? So order date as date. Okay. So this need not to be date column. So listen, I have a column by the name of date, and the data type for the date column is date. Okay. So but supposing you have order date, you just specify order meaningful name. Okay. Order date as date. And here order date you need to specify it. Okay. So this is the one you need to specify it here. This is the one you need to specify it here. Okay. So that your order date will get converted from date, month, year to year, month, date. Okay. So, and also the text data type, how to pass it to use it in your function, and how to use the number data type, everything we have seen it. And yeah, so these things, right? So we have seen it using custom function, we were able to convert it, right? Using, column from examples, using column from examples. Yes, yeah, like Suja pointed out correctly, we have transformed the data type. So, sorry, we have transformed the format of the order date from date, month, year to this one. Already using column from example. Yes, Suja. but that we did it explicitly. But programmatically, how can you do that? By, you can use some custom function, or you can use date to text function. This is a built-in function. We have used the built-in functions as part of my user defined function, convert date event. Now the question is, already Microsoft given a function, then why you are using it again? But here we mentioned the format, right? Our required format. My required format is YYMMDD. Though the function date.toText is a built-in function which is already developed by someone else, but still we want in the required format here YYYYMMDD. So if if anybody uses this function, it will work. I'll just show you here. Now we have created the function, we tested it. So here it shows the value, right? We need to enter the value for this parameter date, and then that will convert. Okay, you want this one to be changed order date. Okay, what he says, our friend Pradeep says, why don't you give some order date instead of date? It is confusing me. Okay, fine. So I just give this one. Look here, it is order date. Let's say you have a column by the name of order date, and that is a date data type. That is a date data type. And what you are doing is, in the body, you are using a built-in function, but the order date you have used an argument, but you are using this format. This is a required format. Okay. So now the question is, yes, we have the sales WC4 here. Okay, I just select the sales W04 data set. And what I do is, this time I'm going to click on invoke custom function. Order date is in what format, right? So month, so date, month, year, right? So what I'll do is I'll just create order date, new column name, order date, and here YYYMMDD. Okay, and see, I just clicked on the invoke function, invoke custom function. You need to specify the new column name. Okay, this function will return a value. That value will get stored in a column. Okay, hence we need to specify column name, new column. Okay, and then function query. Click on the drop down here. Here I have created square me uppercase convert dd. So here the purpose is, we want to, we want to convert any date in this format. Okay, I use this function which I created it. And then here you can specify the value explicitly, but this is not much helpful. Click on the drop down. Here you need to specify the date column. Okay, here the order date, right? So 1 second, column name. Sorry, here you need to specify the column name. Click on the drop down again, and then order date. So if you use the date here, you can enter the value manually, the date. But you have 100,000 transactions. Each and every transaction you think you will enter the order date one after the other. That is a painful thing. Instead, don't use this first option, date. Use the column name and click on the drop down. Hey, I wanted to apply this function which I created it on this column. You understood? This function already I created it and tested it. So it is working fine. But once you create a function and if you test it and if it is working fine, the next step is you need to use it, right? I'm going to apply this function on this column, order date. So now this function will pick up each and every value from the order date column, and then it will convert it in this format. And then that converted value will get stored in the order date YYMMDD column. That is how it should work. Yes, it is working perfectly here. This is another way of creating a column with the required date format. The other option is, yeah, column from examples also you can give it. This is pretty simple, right? Column from example is pretty simple. But this is the one I wanted to show you how to create a custom function, as opposed to, yeah, how to create a custom function to change the any date format in the required format. For that, how we can do it explicitly, right? So we can use the user defined function. Okay, otherwise the column from examples you can use it. Okay, fine, that is also you can use it. But the advantage here is, this one you can use it not only for order date, you can use it for ship date column also, right? if you use column from examples, what will happen? Listen, you have done it for the order date column. You selected the order date column, and then you have clicked on the column from examples from selection, and you just typed a few values in the YYYMMDD format, and then it converted it. Okay, and fine. But for ship date, again, you need to do the same thing, right? Since I have already created a function by the name of convert DTYYMMDD, I can apply to any number of date columns. Hence, this is called your reusability. I'll just show you for the ship date also. I'm going to click on the invoke custom function again. So this time ship date. Okay. Pradeep is asking, why we need to convert in the different format. I will tell you, wait. So now I want to create a new column. That column should hold the ship date in YYMMDD format. But in order to convert this format, I have already created a function. You need to click on the drop down, select the function which we created it to convert the date in this format. And then here I'm going to click on the drop down column name, and this time I click on drop down. I'm going to select the ship date. I'm going to hit OK. That's all, guys. Now look here. So this function, I have applied it on the order date column, and also I applied it on the ship date column also. Did I make any changes? Nothing, right? The same function, I applied it on more than one date column. Hence, it is called reusability. But if you want to achieve the same thing, you need to click on the column from examples 2 times for the two different columns. Again, you need to key in the values manually, and then you need to test it, right? So here it is not like that. So once you create the function, you can use it as many times as you want it. Okay. Oh, you want to see the uppercase? Okay, okay. Uppercase, how will you do that, Praveen? Praveen, how, yeah, the same function, right? For example, I have the ship mode column is there. Okay. So what I am going to do is I am going to click on the invoke custom function. Ship mode. I just say uppercase. Click on the function query here, drop down. I'm going to click on the uppercase, which I already created. So this uppercase function, I should apply it on the ship mode column, right? Column name. Click on the drop down and here ship mode. Okay, that's all, guys. You just click on OK. We have a new column called ship mode and underscore UC got created. See the uppercase, any value if you want to convert. So otherwise, what will, so you might be asking this question. See, I have text dot upper function is readily available. Why you used uppercase? Why do, see, I smartly what I did, I have reused the function which they already Microsoft created in my function called uppercase. The reason is the name uppercase is very straightforward, right? So anybody can remember uppercase. So now I can tell my team members, hey guys, I have created uppercase, and I have created square me function. I have created convert date YBMD. If you guys wanted to change your date columns format like this, you can use it. You don't have to break your head. Okay. So it is reusability, and then the modularity. It provides the modularity, and it's parameterized. You can pass any date column to this function, parameterized, because we have used the parameter as a order date, right? Yeah, the parameter name is order date, but that's a placeholder, right? You can pass order date, you can pass ship date, you can pass due date. Whatever the date you want, you can pass it. Okay, that's a just placeholder. That's all. Okay. Don't think order date, the parameter name, I mentioned it. How come you can apply it on the ship date? Order date, you can use order date or use some common name. Okay. So date column or something like that. Date call, something like that. Okay. Instead of order date, you give some, but when you apply the function of the ship date column, it will apply that function on the ship date column only, not on the order date. But that's the reason why we are selecting this function explicitly, and also we select the column ship date explicitly. Okay, that ship date will get passed to your order date parameter. Actually, the order date in the case of convert DD YYMMDD function is the parameter. Can pass any column to that. Okay. Okay. Since you have asked that, what I will do is I will just change it to date call. Okay. Date call. But the same thing, you need to use it here, guys. Okay. So here I just say date call. So if you select the ship date column, if you select the order date column, that value in that column will get copied here, and then it get passed here, and then it will convert that here. Okay, we'll make it more generic instead of giving order date. It'll get confused, right? So now you're all set. And if I go to the sales W04 column, and then if I go and see the ship date YTMMDD, and still it is loading it. Let's wait for some time. You need to, if you change anything in your function, right, make sure that you are going to test it. Yes, it is working correctly. So year, month date, year, month date. Okay, these are the examples I have given you to perform certain common tasks, right? So reusability, for reusability, okay? The interview, they'll ask you, what are the reusable functions that you created? Other example is calculating the salary, okay? What I will do is I will use another data set to demonstrate at home. Click on the new source, and I'm going to click on the Excel workbook. Here's something called EMP1. I think that is my CSV file. So I'm going to load another file. Okay. So yeah, see the same function, you can use it across the data set also, guys. Okay. See, so let's say you have created this function. Okay, so convert dt yy dd. This function, you can use it for order date. You can use it for any date column within your data set across the data set. So listen, I have another data set called sales by customer. In that data set also, I want to convert the date in this dt yy dd format. That is also possible. Okay. Within the data set, you can use the same reusable function, and also across the data set, also you can use the same function, okay? That is also possible. So now what I do is I just loaded the EMP1 data set. Here you can see the employee number, first name, last name, MGR, DOB, everything is there. I'm going to click on at the bottom, and I'm going to select new query and then blank query. I'm going to click on the blank query. So I'm going to, compute the salary, okay? For example, here I just give, the parenthesis. Here what I do is, let's say you have something like earnings as number and deductions. That's all. So subtract the deductions from the earnings, and this one will give me the net salary. Okay, I'm going to hit the tick mark. So now what I'll do is I'll just put, okay, instead of earnings, what I will do is I'll just use basic. Okay, so instead of using multiple thing, right? So you can use more than one parameter also. You can use the parameters, different data types also in a single function. So in this case, okay, for this, okay, here what I will do is for the sake of simplicity, and for you people to understand quickly, I'm going to use only two parameter. I just press enter. Let's say the earnings is 100,000, and the deduction is 25,000. Okay. I'm going to click on invoke. When I click on invoke, what will happen? This 100,000 will get copied to the parameter earnings, This 25,000 will copy to the parameter for deductions. So this one will have 25,000, right? This 25,000 will get copied here because from year to year, right? From year to year, it will get copied, and the earnings, right? 100,000 will got copied from here to here. Okay. And then I'm going to hit the invoke button here. So now we have 75,000, right? 70,000. So 100,000 minus 25,000, it is performing it is doing the great job, right? So now what I'll do is I'll click on the query one and right click on it. And I'm going to say rename calc net cell, press enter. I gave some meaningful name, right? Calculate net salary. So I created a function and I have given the correct name for the function, and then I'm going to, I tested it, it is working fine. It is, the calculations are correct. Now I want to use this function on my data set. So I have something called, where is emp1? In the employee data set, I have each and every employee name, and then the salary, everything is there, and LOP is there. So, okay, in this case, I'm going to apply that created function. I click on the add column and then click on the invoke custom column. Here I just say net salary, okay? Net salary. Now I need to tell, hey, which function should be used in order to compute the net salary. I have created multiple functions. Click on the drop down. I want to use calculate itself. So, and earnings, right? And earnings is a parameter, direction is a parameter. So what else? Click on the drop down, select the column name. All the, see, in this case, the salary, I don't have, many columns in this case, salary is my earnings, okay? And you can click on the drop down here, column name, okay? Here you select the column which you want to pass the value. So from LOP column, you pick up the values for the reduction parameter. From the salary column, you pick up the values for your earnings parameter. And then what you do is inside that, you subtract the LOP from sal, right? That is what earnings minus deductions, okay? And so if you wanted to include basic HRA, then you need to create more than one parameter. So for earnings, if you want to create, if you want to use multiple columns to determine the deductions, you need to create that many number of parameters, okay? Here I create only two parameters. So salary column LOP, I'm going to hit OK. Look here, net salary is arrived. And then test it here, I just go up, and testing is very much important. So 100,034 is the salary. LOP is nothing, hence it gives me the correct thing, same thing. And here the LOP is 25,000. If you subtract here, 95,000 or not. It is doing a perfect job. This is how we can create the custom function. Hope with all these examples, you guys are able to understand what exactly custom function is all about. And also one more thing you need to remember is, so if you click on the view ribbon, you will find something called advanced editor. Okay. So currently I selected, look here, I select calculate net cell function. And then currently we are in view ribbon. You just watch here, calculate. This is the function I created. Then click on the advanced editor. Here also you can write a function. Okay. Instead of writing it there, you can write it here also. In this case, what happened? So this is a let block, and we have another block called in block. So in the let block, you declare all the variables that are required. Okay. And then what you do is, on the right side of this one, you specify the expression. In this case, we have mentioned the function or parameters, right? Earnings and deductions. And then followed by that, we have the rocket arrow. And in the rocket arrow, right, this is your kind of a body, okay? So this one will get, this is actually your expression, okay? This one will get computed. And then see the earnings is nothing but in our example, it goes and picks up the values from the salary column. The deductions parameter, it goes and picks up the value from the LOP column, and then sal minus LOP. The output will get stored here for each and every employee's, right, employee record. And then this one will return the in block will return the final output. The source is nothing but net salary, right? The net salary will be written here. Net sal will be written here. Okay. So here also you can write the function, okay, the custom function. Anyhow, we will see it later about the advanced editor. If you want to write multiple lines of code, right? So if you write it here, it will not be good, right? It will not be readable. The readability will not be there. Hence, you can use advanced editor to create a function. Yes. Yeah, you want to see that? Okay, okay. How to create advanced editor? That is the question from Pradeep. So what I will do is to demonstrate that. Look here, I just delete these things. It is not required because it is consuming space. All the okay, I'll just keep at least one invoke function for the previous one. You can watch it. See here, what I'm going to do is um, I'm creating another net salary function. Okay, I am going to click new query and a blank query. And here you have the view here. See, this time, instead of typing the parameter name function body here, I just click on the view and then I'm going to click on the advanced editor. Here, what I do is just above the let function. Since it is a function, I'm going to say calculate net salary. This is another function, okay? Calculate salary is equivalent to the basic as number, and followed by that, I just okay, I just use the rocket arrow. Or else simply we'll put it like this, okay? Basic as number. And then here the source, right? Here what I do is I just instead of using net sal, okay? Net salary on the right side of the equal sign. What I'm going to do is I'm going to declare another variable, okay? Let's say, I hear the deduction percentage, okay? So let's say we have something on deduction percentage, something like that, okay? Is equivalent to 10, something like that, okay? And I'm going to go to the next line. Here what I do is net sal here, and then my basic divided by the, sorry, basic into deduction percentage divided by 100, okay? And then, so here I'm going to say, I'm going to, yeah, so the deduction is, sorry, this is your deduction, okay? Correct, right? Yeah, deduction. First, you are going to see, they've given you the 10%, no matter what salary they get it, or in the basic, deduct 10%, okay? You just think that way, okay? That is your deduction, okay? And then here, you need to use net salary. So this one will be final computation, okay? Your basic minus deduction. See, here itself, you can use another parameter. This is another way of creating function, okay? Here, I'm going to say deduction, right? And the net sal, okay, here, comma, yeah, and at the end, you need to specify comma, it seems, okay? Net sal, basic deduction, and then net sal. So now my net sal variable will hold the net salary, right? So you subtract the basic, you subtract the deduction from the basic salary. So how did you arrive the deduction? Here I used another variable. Here I declared it's a 10%. Okay, let's say your manager told you for all the employees you need to deduct 10% of their basic salary. Okay, this for learning purpose, guys. Okay, so basic is this parameter here. Okay, and then deduction percentage we already mentioned. This is a 100. Okay, point. So you will have 0.10. Okay, so basic into 0.10 will give you the deduction. So this will have the deduction value. Deduction minus if you subtract the deduction from basic, you'll get the net salary. That value will get stored here. And finally, we want to return the net salary. Right? I'm going to hit the done button here. Net sal was not recognized. Make sure it's spelled correctly. And here, I'm going to use let me do one thing. There is a syntax mistake here. Token expected, expression syntax error, token expected. Or else what I'll do is I'll take the simple example here. Okay, you can try the same thing. I will tell you later what error. Okay, and here listener deduction, same thing. And here basic minus net salary. I'm going to click on the tick mark. Query expression name net salary was not found. Okay, here the basic minus deduction. Hmm. So what is the problem here? Here, yeah, so net salary is, yeah, it should work here. I have mentioned this one correctly, right? Yeah, basic as number, name itself was not recognized. You should be able to declare it. That's not a problem. Okay, let me do one thing. See, the case doesn't matter. You throw an error, the same thing here. Basic minus deduction, net salary. As number. Here I need to specify as number data type. Okay. Now it is working. So here I did not specify the data type. Okay. Now it is working fine. Okay. So now if I click on the advanced editor, so I did it in advanced editor only, right? So we can see all the things here. First parameter basic as number, deduction as number. Make sure that you specify data type here. Okay. And follow you can use this one. Okay. So let us see the advanced, very advanced things later point in time. I will give you some assignment. Just give it a try. So this is another way of creating a function using your advanced editor. If you want to have multiple lines of code, right, you can use it here. So in this case, we have only one line of code. If you want to have more than one line of code, then the formula bar is not the right place. You can write the complex logic. Complex in the sense multiple lines are required. First, you need to find the direction. You need to compute the tax percentage, right? For that, you need to use another formula, and then finally you get the net salary. Okay, something like that. So in that case, multiple lines of code is required. So you can, in that kind of situation, you can use advanced editor. If it is a straightforward like one line of code, then you can use the formula bar here itself. Okay, click on the up arrow, it will get minimized. So now we understood with this exhaustive examples how to create a custom function. Okay, salary is not declared. No, it is declared, right? Yeah, net sal is not declared. So where here, net sal is declared. Here it is not. It's a variable only. No, this one will hold the output of this one. It is not required. You don't have to declare that one. Okay. In this case, yeah. See, in the other language, yes, you need to declare the net salary also with the data type. Okay. Here it is not a declarative language. Okay. Hence, you don't have to declare the variable which you use it in your net salary or something like that. So what is the next thing? Next, we will jump into the merge. Okay. And merge part. Not merge, group by. Okay. We will take a look at the group by.